Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be checking out the new Procreate Dreams, which is a new software app by the same people who brought us the great program Procreate, but this is an animation program. So we're going to be messing around with it today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new project here and just hit the little plus sign right there top. And I'm going to do an empty project, and this automatically sets it at 4K. You can go in and change where was it at? I still ain't familiar with this program very well yet, so I think it's the title right there. You can go in and you can change the properties and you can make it HD instead if you'd like to do that. But for today, I'm just going to leave everything like it is. I'm just going to hit done. You can set all of your properties in there, your frame rate and everything like that. So I'm just now learning the program myself. So we're going to be doing this together, learning how to do this together. So I have a project in mind that I made a while ago, a long time ago actually. And this was a tutorial from Tatyworks, T-A-T-Y-W-O-R-K-S, very good Procreate tutorial channel. I will leave her description in the description below, so you can go check out tutorial from her. So I'm going to be using those assets from that tutorial in this animation. All right, and the first thing I want to do is bring in all of my assets that I want to use today. So I'm going to use the iPad split view function, and we're going to load up Procreate right next to it. So here are all my assets that I want to use for my animation. So I'm going to bring those in on different layers. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new layer. And a lot of the controls are very familiar. It doesn't take long to get to know this program. So I'm going to bring in this background right here. I'm just going to hold on it and I'm going to just pull it over here. And it's going to import it into my timeline here. Now, it's not at the beginning, so I want to move that. I'm just going to hold it down, pick it up, and move it to the front. Right there. So that's my background. So you can see here on our stage, the background right there. Now I'm going to bring and start a new track. And then the next thing I want to bring in, I think, is my tent. So I'm going to bring my tent in next. I'm going to bring it over there. And these parts are really not going to be animated. These are going to be kind of my background setup. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I need to fill in the sides right here because I don't want them white. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new track, and then we're going to use our pencil here, and if you hit the little squiggly line right there, that's the drawing mode. And I'm going to make sure that my timeline is at the beginning right here. And I'm just going to go to my brushes. I'm going to choose this black color here on the sides, and you can see holding it down, touching it, brings up the color picker just like you would do in Procreate. So very similar. And the brush, I'm just going to leave it on brush pen. And then here, right here, are our opacities and our brush sizes. But basically, I'm just going to go ahead and fill this in. Make sure I just get the stage all done in this black color here. Okay, and then we'll do it on the other side too. Just make sure everything in that little square right there, that's what people's going to see, is all filled in. All right, and that should do that. Okay, let's start a new layer right here. I think I've got all of my background files in now. So now let's put in, let me see, I think put my little guy in here next. So I'm going to hold down on him and bring him. I don't think that worked. Hold him down. There we go. bring him in. That's my little man. And then I'm going to just click on the track and make sure I bring it all the way over here to the front. Maybe my drawing didn't make it to the front. Yeah, it did. Okay. All right, so I got the little man in there. You can see he's floating up there, but he's not going to stay right there. The next thing we're going to do is bring in the, I think, maybe this white. Oops, I got the tent. I don't want the tent. Oh, it grouped them somehow. All right, I don't want them grouped, so now I'm going to drag this over. You know what? I think I forgot to make a new layer. Hey, but it made it for us. Okay, good. So that's good to know. Again, we're learning as we go here. So there is our little beam that's going to shoot down. That's going to be animated. And then we need to bring in our UFO here. So I'm going to bring that in on top of everything. There we go. And let's put it all the way to the beginning. There we go. And I think that is all I need to bring in from Procreate. So now I'm going to see if I can get my little 3 dots up here and go back to full screen. So now we're in Procreate Dreams completely. We've closed out. And I can see some strange things have happened. So there's still some bugs in the program. But I'm sure those will probably all get worked out, which is fine. But I can see right here that for some reason my background got slid over here, and that might be because I didn't. Wait a minute, that's the same. This, I think this and this is the same. I'm gonna hold that and delete it. All right. So what is this? That's our little guy. All right, so we got our background here. We got our tent. We got our sides, which are the colored things. So you know what? These 3 things are not going to be, they're not going to be animated. So the first thing I need to do is drag this out. I don't know how many seconds we're going to need for this animation to work, but we'll adjust it as we go. So I'm going to drag this one out too so they'll all meet. Now I want to select these 3 because they're not going to be animated. So I'm going to group those together. So how you do that is if you click on the little layered things here and just drag and drop your pen across it, and that will select them all. And I think if I tap on this, no, maybe hold down on everything. Yep. And I hit group content. So now I've got all the stuff that's in the background that's not going to move into a group by itself. So that will be maybe a little easier to deal with as far as all these other things. Now, I've got a couple of empty tracks up here. I don't know if that left those tracks empty because that's where the items for the group were at. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm just not going to mess with them for right now, just to make sure that we don't screw anything up. Okay, so I think what I want to do is animate my UFO first. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on that layer with the UFO. And then we'll click off the layer. Don't need that anymore. We are going to move him. So if you click on the little clicker, the movie clicker thing here, we're going to hit move. And we're going to just move this guy over here off the stage. So he is completely out of the scene right now. Alright, and now what I'm going to do is, the animation that we're doing today is we're going to be just using the performance mode. So what it does, it basically records you making the moves physically. So we're not going to do the frame by frame flip book style animation today. Maybe in a future video we'll do that. So what we're going to do is we want the UFO to come in from the side and kind of stop right there in the middle. So make sure you got your frame. Make sure you got your playhead to the very beginning of the scene here. And we're going to click this little circle, which is a record sign right here. Now, whenever we move, this object here, it's going to start recording our action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take my finger and touch on the canvas. I'm going to move this little guy over here. And I'm going to stop. Okay, now it's put all the keyframes in there for us automatically. Now if we go back again and push play, we can see our UFO comes in. Okay, and that's what we want. Alright, so I'm going to stop it, stop the animation. Now the next thing what I want to do is have the little light come out from the bottom. So we need to animate that next. So I'm going to put it where my UFO stops. And now we're going to animate this little light thing right here. Alright, so what we're going to do, I can see right now we're going to have to move our guy above this light. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So if you just hold it down and drag it up, it'll put that man on top of the light, because we don't want him to go behind the light. We want him to show. Okay, and for right now, I'm just going to leave him right there. It doesn't really matter, because we're going to animate him later on. Okay, so what we're going to do is we want to take the timeline out where the UFO stops. So about right there. And now I'm going to take my light here, I'm going to slide it over to that part right there. So that's where we want it to start coming out. Now we need to make a keyframe, and by doing that, if you just tap it, you can see we have moves, we have filters, and we have edits here. So we want to move it. Alright, and we're going to move and scale it. So let me see. Alright, I think we need to probably, I think I'm scaling it. I don't want to scale it. I want to move it. There we go. So if I get the middle here, it will scale it. But the thing is, it's scaling from the middle, because that's where our, what is it called? Our anchor is set right in the center. So we don't want the anchor in the center. We want the anchor up there at top where it's coming out. So let's edit our anchor, and then let's move that little plus right up here to the top. And then we hit done right here. And now, when we click on that, okay, I'm going to take out that keyframe here. Delete keyframe. Alright, now if I click on it again, I'm going to hit move, move and scale, and this time I'm going to take it all the way up right there. So that's where I want it to start at. Okay, and now we're going to hit the, actually, let's just do this one. We're not going to do this performance mode. We're just going to do it keyframe mode. So we're going to move our playhead to where we want it to come down. So maybe a couple of seconds, I guess. And then we're going to hit another keyframe. And now we're going to make it come down to about like that. Okay? And I think that's all we need to do. So let's look at the whole thing now. So we push play. We got our UFO coming in from the side here. It stops. And our beam shoots down. Now there was something that happened there in the beginning that I don't want. So it looks like our animation disappeared. So I'm going to hit two fingers. Two fingers again. Looked like we lost all of our animation that we had on the... There we go. So I got it back. Okay, I think it fixed itself. Let's see what happens now. Got it out, goes down. Very good. Okay, that's what we wanted. So good. All right, I'm going to stop it right there. So now we want our little man to go up the light beam from the tent. So we're going to move our playhead back to when it first goes down, so about right there. And then, actually, we need to move it up to that keyframe that the layer that the man is on. All right, so that's about right there where it starts to come down. Now we're going to take our man, we're going to move him over to the beginning of that. And then we need to move him down. So let's take him and move him. I'm going to move over to the left a little bit where, let me see if I can zoom in on this. So you can't see him because he's in top of that black part right there. So that's kind of what we want right there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a perform mode for this one. So I'm going to, needs to be a little bit longer. That way I don't run out of space here. So if at the end we can go ahead and alter the length of our animation. Okay, so I'm going to hit the record sign, and now we're going to animate our little guy. So he's going to come out of the tent and go up into the UFO, just like that. All right, now let's see the whole thing. So we got our UFO that comes over, stops, the beam goes down, and our little guy goes up. He disappears into the ship. Okay, good. I like it. All right, done. Now what we're going to do is after he disappears into the ship, we're going to have the light come back up now. So we're going to go back down to the light layer. So he disappears, his feet disappear right there. All right, now we want to do another keyframe. So I'm going to click, we're going to hit move, and we're going to move scale, and now the beam is going to go, wait a minute, we need to bring it over a little bit, we need to bring our keyframe over a little bit, and now let's move it up. So all the way up to the ship. So about right there. Okay, let's see what that looks like. So our UFO comes over, light goes down, little guy goes up. As soon as he disappears, the light should go back up, but it didn't work. All right, do that again then. So right here, we're gonna click, hit move, okay, and then I'm going to move the playhead over about 3 seconds maybe, and now we're going to click and hit move again, move and scale, go all the way up. All right, let's see if that did what we wanted it to do. Play. There we go. Light comes down. Man goes up. Light goes back up. There we go. We got it. So when the light disappears right here, I'm going to take that frame and slide it all the way over to where it ends because we don't need it anymore after that. So play again, let me see, make sure that's all okay. Down. There we go. And then the light goes back up. All right, very good. And now we're going to have the ship go off the side of the screen again. So we need to go back up to the ship again. We're going to click on it. We're going to hit move, move and scale. So that created a keyframe right there. So it's going to lock in that position where it's at now. And now I think I am just going to perform this one. So as soon as I start moving that ship, it's going to start recording. Oh, our man's still there. So we need to fix that. Okay, so the ship goes off the side of the screen. Now let's see what all that looks like. So we need to do another keyframe for that guy. Maybe the opacity. We need to just like make him fade out. Okay, light goes up. And the ship goes off to the side. Okay, I like it. That's all good. Now let's do something with this guy here. So what we're gonna do is maybe, so let's put a keyframe in right here. We're gonna do a filter keyframe. We're gonna do an opacity keyframe, and we're gonna leave it at 100% right there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to move the playhead over a little bit. We're going to hit it again. We're going to go to filter again. We're going to do opacity, and then we're going to take the opacity down all the way to 0. All right, and now let's see what that does. So our guy goes up, and then he should fade out. I didn't see him fade out, but let's see if it worked. Yep, he's gone. Okay, that's it. That's what we wanted. And that will complete our animation. Now, let's get all of this housekeeping stuff done. So, I think it's good. I mean, I was thinking about, like, adjusting the length of the animation and everything, but I think it's okay because we've got all of our tracks are doing what they should be doing. So I think what we're going to do next is we're going to bring in some sound. So I'm going to make a kind of a UFO sound. I think that'd be cool. So how I do that is I'm going to do the same thing like we did when we brought in the assets. So we're going to try to get our three little dots up here. And we're going to go to split view, and I want my files to come up. So I'm going to, where is my file folder? Well, let's just search for it. Files, there we go. And then I have this alien spacecraft sound. So what I'm going to do is, so I've got some empty frames here. But you know what? To keep from messing anything up, I'm going to add a track. So where is that at? Where did it add it at? Oh, right here. So I'm going to drag and drop this sound onto that track. Did it work? Let's see if it worked. All right, so I'm going to go back to full screen. And you can make this bigger just by pinching and spreading your fingers. And if you want the timeline to get smaller or larger, if you do 3-finger swipe, you can make it longer or you can make it shorter. So that's pretty easy to do. And this is our audio right here. So I want that to start at the beginning. All right. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I'm going to turn the volume up so maybe the mic will pick it up. Wrong way. There we go. All right. So let's play that now and see what it sounds like and looks like. Okay, well, it ended before our UFO flew off the side, so we need to fix that. Let me see. Maybe move take this track with the UFO on it and drag it all the way over. Now let's see. I think I got it already. There we go. And it should go off the side of the screen. Alright, so that's basically all we need. So you can see where the playhead is at. So about right there it disappears. So now what we can do, if we want, we can take these tracks on the right side and we can just drag them over to shorten the animation. Okay, so the only thing that's left is the sound is longer than the everything else. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the playhead right there at the end. And we're going to click on it. We're going to click edit. And we're going to split it. Alright, now we can hold that down and we can delete that. Okay, so now trimmed our audio. Alright, and it just abruptly ends, so I want to put a fade out on the audio. So we need to do that with keyframes. So I'm going to, maybe right here, I'm going to do level keyframe, and we're going to leave it at 100 right there. Alright, and then we're going to bring it over here to the end. We're going to do let me make sure I'm on the end here. Hit level again. And now we're going to take the volume down to 0. Now let's see if that fades out. Yep, perfect. And that is it, guys. We did it. We fumbled our way through Procreate Dreams for our first animation. It's really not that difficult, actually. I mean, it's pretty intuitive, and I was able to learn it, I mean, after watching 2 or 3 tutorials, it really easily. And the flip book is even, it's really cool. I mean, I like the perform mode because it makes it easy to animate for people who are not good at animation. But the flip book function of it is also really, really great, where you can do frame by frame animations. And we will explore more of that in the future. So I will leave you guys with the completed animation. And I want to thank you so much for joining me. Look forward to more Procreate Dreams tutorial in the future. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I'd like to hear what you thought about it. So please leave a comment down below and let me know. And if there's anything you'd like to see in the future, let me know that too. Whether it be Procreate or whether it be Procreate Dreams. I'm at your service. So with that, thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And I will see you guys next week for another Procreate tutorial. Take care.